when they hire somebody, they'll be like, hey, they green. So being green means they know nothing. So yeah, so I need to tell them everything in detail, steps by steps.
Yeah.
So there are terms that they're using. So you need to be able to like figure out what they mean.
So, Mandla, thank you for joining me today. Okay.
Yeah.
The whole goal about this is I wrote my first book, and the book was actually my journey to America. It was actually inspired by people that wanted information from me, why I came to America and why I did it. So I was motivated to write this book for people that was inspired to travel a little and wanted information just to come over. A godchild of mine, she phoned me one day and she said she needed information. She told me she wanted to go to China at the time, not China, Japan, one of those countries, and she was speaking about going to teach English over there. And she asked me a couple of questions. When she did, is like, Nathan, I got a couple of questions for you. And when she called me, she had like pages of questions. It was insane. She kept me on the call for like 2 hours, just asking me what it's like to be in America, what influenced you, you know what I mean, and those type of things, and why did you actually leave home. So this was the inspiration for the book, 1 to 3 H's to be, and I decided to do another book. But oh yeah, the reason for the book is I wanted to actually go deeper to understand why, what, the same questions that my godchild asked me. What drives a person to leave their country first of all, and what inspires people, and growing up in different areas or nationality.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What makes me different to you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So I would say the courage as well.
Exactly, the courage. And I understand that you a chef, right?
Yes.
You started to be a chef. So before we actually start, right, I want to know who's the Mandla. Where did Mandla come from? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Was Mandla growing up? Was he in the kitchen?
No.
So
Mandla comes from, like, I was born in Klerksdorp, which is in Northwest.
Mm-hmm.
And so being born there, life was easy. I mean, I was growing up with my father and my 2 brothers. And so my father was working in the mines back then. And so sometimes when he comes back from work, because my older brother joined us later. I was with my elder brother, and then the other one joined later. I think maybe, like, you know, like I was still in primary.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's the one who used to like cook for us, but a few months after he joined us, he got a job as well. And so now there's no father, there's no elder brother. We just, because my older brother is like 3 years older than me, so we pretty much the same age gap. So we couldn't cook, we couldn't do anything. Till one day, my eldest brother came back home drunk, and then my father came in as well, and then he was furious. I don't know what they did to him at work, and so he was like, "I'm hungry. Is there anything to eat?" And then we just pointed at our elder brother, and then he was like, "What did he do? Like, we don't know. He just came in and then he went to bed." It's like, so he slept with the pots. Did he take the stove away? Did I go to work with the grocery? Why did you guys like come up with something? I mean, cook something. I think that's when the journey started, because on the following day, he went to work. They both went to work, cooked something, and then when they came back, they were like, "Oh, even though it's not perfect yet, but you are young, we're little, we're still gonna eat it." And they ate it, and then they ate it, and then that became my daily job. It became my daily job. So every day, every time they expect me to cook. So I think that's when the journey began. So I moved to, after he passed, moved to Eastern Cape. I did grade 7, 8, and 9. Moved to Cape Town and 10. Moved to Cape Town. I did grade 11 and 12. But in the period at home, there was a spaza shop, you know, so everything was expected from me because I was the youngest, you know, to sell, to cook, to do everything. But I didn't introduce my cooking to them as yet. I only introduced it when I doing grade 12. I was in grade 12 when I started cooking in Cape Town. That was a year later. And then my aunt, which I call her my mom, she invited the people because it was on a Sunday. So I prepared like several courses, several colors, like the beetroots, the butternut, and then she called a few of her friends, which are my neighbors, and then they were like, "How about you start take this as a journey, like take it as a what do you call a career?" And then I was like, no, because I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. If not, I wanted to be I wanted to be like a radio personalist.
Got it.
But now my English was not too good at the time, and then also my voice is so soft, people find hard time to understand me. So that failed. As a mechanical engineer, it failed as well because I was not like as active in driving as so much, so I didn't know anything about the cars. So I was like, no, let me find something easy, though hospitality management, it was my second opinion or second choice. And I applied to CPT, got it accepted, and then that's it. Yeah, and that was back in 2012.
So what type of dishes do you like to cook at home? What was it like? What type of food was it? Was it
like, I don't know,
mini pop in place? Like
I dream a lot. I dream a lot. And then my first job, like after I think 2013, I was working for Houtbay Manor. It's a small hotel that's in my location where I come from. And then surprisingly enough, as small as it was, I think it had only 19 rooms, but they were focusing more into fine dining. And so as my first restaurant to work in, so I got like inspired by fine dining. Even when I cook at home, people will be like, it tastes good, but it's just a small portion. This is not how we eat at home. We need something that's gonna like sustain you for the night, So if I make dinner, people should sleep full and then wake up still, But I'm more into fine dining.
Fine dining.
Yes, that's what I like the most. And then later on I developed like Italian. I love Italian. Making pastas from scratch, all of them. Like my favorite one is gnocchi currently.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
actually, I saw on your one Instagram where you actually did a live with a friend of yours that's also passionate about cooking. And one of your dishes that you cook was a pasta, and I saw you infused it with some spinach.
Yes.
Was it the spinach?
It was a spinach, parsley, and terracon.
Terracon.
Yeah, and then also in a piece of chicken on the side because you know how we are. We always like a protein on the side.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to do it, but I was like, it's for my people.
Oh yeah. Next one, I need to be there to taste. Okay.
No problem at all. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I should speak about this. But if she finds out, she's gonna have to forgive me. But now we're planning on having like a dinner, like where we cook several courses of menu. But we're gonna invite some friends, and then we're gonna be maybe doing like anything from 3 to 5 course menu.
Oh, I'm definitely there.
Yeah, so I don't know, but we need to invite some people, and also it's coming soon. We haven't like fully planned it, but it's just an idea for now.
Okay, sounds good. So from here, what inspired you to come? Why America though? What inspired you to take that direction of coming to America? And is America the only time that you left the country basically? Yes.
Funny enough, I applied for coming to America in 2015. It was through friends. Because when I was still studying, I was doing my third year. I was doing my third year, and then certain agencies, like group of agencies, came to recruit, like the crews all around the country. They offered like different types of visas, like the J1s, the H2Bs, the cruise So I was not interested in any of it because I never thought I could leave South Africa. But lucky enough, I had a passport which I applied when I first started the tertiary. So one of the agencies approached me. They were like, "Hey, listen, this is what you see. This is what you get. This is the experience that you want to have on your resume or CV, should I say? Just put on your name. It doesn't mean we're gonna go. Just put down your name." So I wrote my name on it. A few days later, they sent me an email saying, "Hey, let's meet," and then bring like it's just a formalities of an interview. So I went. The conversation was very great. They were seemed interested, and then they were like, okay, we're gonna take you to the next step, which they told me like the process on how to actually apply for the visa. And it was a J1 visa, and so everything went well until they asked me, when are you available to fly? I was like, whoa, too soon to fly away. So I've already signed with the Broadmoor Hotel, which is in Colorado. I've already signed the contract. Everybody is expecting me. I've already been asked about the uniform size, things like that. And so it was time to fly.
So
I didn't make it.
You didn't? Oh.
I didn't make it. Like because after they were like, okay, so we need to find out about the date, and then this is how much you're gonna pay, and then we give you the date to fly, and then after you're good to go. I didn't have that much of money at the time, so I was like, no, I'm sorry. And also I had an exam that I needed to write 2 days in that month. I think it was in that month they wanted me to fly, and that exam was super important because I couldn't leave it, because if I come back I needed to start the whole semester. Yeah, so it was gonna take me longer, and I knew that I was gonna pass because I failed it on previous year, and I was sure I was gonna pass it on that year. I couldn't take that risk, so I told them, I'm sorry, I don't have the money first, and secondly I have an exam that's coming up very soon, so I cannot leave the country. They had their executive chef sending me an email, the HR sent me an email saying how disappointed they were. But fine, on the following year I applied again with them, with the same agency. That was 2017, and then 2018, voila, was my first time being in America.
Lovely.
Yeah, but it was great. It was a different experience, more especially where I was, because I was in an island, a small island. It's like Robin. When Mandela was present.
Yeah, Robin Island.
It was more like a Robin Island. It was just in the center of the ocean,
Where was that? Which?
It was in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, 2018. It's called Mackinac Island.
Oh, okay.
It's just when you need to go like shopping, things like that.
You need to take a boat.
Yeah, you need to take a boat, and it's far. And then when you land, they call it off land. When you land off land, you have to take an Uber to go wherever.
Wow.
Where you wanna go. This was very mind blowing. That I can tell you, because everything is mega. It's mega, like it's super size. It's big, it's huge, and they look different from South Africa. And I would be like, whoa, I've never seen like the first thing that I went. The first aisle that I went to, it was a beer aisle. So I saw like a big Heineken in a can. Like I've never seen so big, like a can that's so big. And then like the burgers, everything is huge. It's like a double size of what we have in South Africa. And then what's so amazing, or maybe surprising, is that when you see it at the aisle, and then you take it, when you it's gonna say $1. You pick it up from the shelf, you go to pay, and then when you get to the checkpoint, it's $1.59. We'll be like, no, it said $1 from the shelf, and I'll be like, yeah, that's excluding VAT.
Exactly.
And then I was like, oh, okay. So it was a different experience. I don't want to lie. It took me some time to actually adapt to it, because now if I go to the store maybe to buy bread, and it's $2, and if I have exactly $2, then I have to look for something less, because I don't want to risk it, because it's so embarrassing when you get to the till and then you are 2 cents short, and then they won't give it to you, and then someone behind you will be like, oh no, don't worry about it, I'm going to take care of it. It's because of how we grew up back home.
Exactly. So these places that you worked for in America, what was the culture like? What was the people that you basically cooked for, or the style of food that you were? Is it something that was in your line of what you enjoyed cooking, or did you learn? What did you pick up? New ideas that you could use?
So firstly, a J1, it's called a cultural exchange. Like that's how they call it when you're a J1. It's like, no, it's a cultural exchange. So I need to come with my culture and exchange with American people. So now I need to teach them what I eat, and then they will teach me what they eat. And so what I found out is that they mostly eat hot dogs and burgers, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. So those are the kind of food that they eat, and then those are the kind of food that you had to have money pay where I come from.
Exactly. You would go once a month to go eat out.
Maybe on your birthday, something like that. You would get a burger, So it was not on my line, but I had to adapt to it, because adapting is something for someone who wants to come here. They need to have a lot of courage and be able to adapt to the situations, because South Africa is very different from here, even from speaking, like speaking English, because we learned a UK English back home, and so the the US English is different as well, and so now it takes them some time to actually understand what I'm saying, or maybe whatever I say, it's gonna be it's gonna mean something different from them, and food wise, like I'm saying, like they don't understand food like chakalaka, because we once made it. It's one thing that we have the ingredients for it, so we once made it for them. They enjoyed it. As a matter of fact, in Michigan, they always enjoy, like every country's is it Indigenous Day, or when they say it's a South African Day. For example, on they always celebrate our Heritage Day.
Yeah. Okay.
So every South African on the 23rd of September, like every South African needs to come to the kitchen and contribute and make South African food.
Wow, that
so
seems...
if it's gonna be a Jamaican Day, all the Jamaicans are gonna be called in and then cook like Jamaican cuisine. Every culture, or maybe every country. So they do those kind of things.
Okay.
So I remember our first one, we made chakalaka, steamed bread. We couldn't get bab because there's no maize meal. So we made bright chicken. And it was great. And then they enjoyed it so much that they wanted to put it on the menu, like on a weekly menu. Like maybe on Wednesday, South African food, but we didn't have much time to do that, because working in the kitchen can be so straining and then very demanding.
How many hours would you basically work a week, or what was your schedule?
My schedule in Michigan was very tight. It was very busy. I was working 6 days a week, because it depends on the attitude first, and your skill and your flexibility. Those are the kind of things that you need to have as a South African who wants to come and work in the US. If you have a yes, we can do attitude, you're always smiling, always like willing to take some challenges and overcoming them. And then if you are flexible enough, if they say, hey, we need you for breakfast, and then you can flip some eggs. It's say, hey, we need you for dinner night. Maybe it's going to be a burger and hot dog night if you are Golden Grill. So, and also, like I'm saying, demanding, and you have to be there. So I learned my, what's the other word? Adapting to your environment, pretty much. Exactly, because also you work with different countries. Work with people from different countries. So we don't all speak the same English that we speak. Sometimes some people don't understand the language, but you have to be able to adapt and try and understand them, and they will try to understand you. You have to be able to meet them in the middle. So that's one of the biggest challenges that we have, because we're all from different countries. Yeah.
But it's fun as well. I think me coming also to America, I think I enjoy the different cultures.
Yes.
In fact, I'm married to a Russian woman, so I enjoy the cultures. I think it's fascinating to see how people from the other side live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what they got to bring into your environment, which is, I think it's
something beautiful.
Yeah. Because first of all, being South Africa, I wasn't exposed to those things. I never had that mentor, someone to guide me, to show me what's out there. I had to find my own way, my own steps. Yes, I had, luckily enough, for when I studied at home, but a family friend actually, he actually gave me the opportunity to study CNC programming, which I was grateful for as well at the time.
That's
but
awesome.
CNC is basically where you're machining and making tools and those type of things. So the engineering field. So I enjoyed it at the time, but I knew I wanted something more. There was something still
missing.
Yeah, missing inside here. I needed to experience more out there, and that's what why I chose to come to America. You know what I mean? I wanted to see what's out there. You watch these movies and
I was about to say, what's the movie that inspired you? Like, yeah, see that? I want to be there.
Exactly. Miami. I mean, I can say I've been to Miami. We see these beautiful beaches, and we're like, wow. On TV. So you've never been to Miami?
I've been to Miami, but not to the beach. I was just like exploring restaurants around. There's a small town, it's a small downtown place that I used to like. I went and explored it.
Yep, you should do Miami.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back, so my question is for someone that wants to come in this program, right? What are as a chef as well, what are the questions would the interview actually ask them at the time that they need in order to come over or work on this program? What is it that they need? You know what I mean?
Yeah. The questions that I've repeatedly got, because obviously I've been here for quite a time now. We are from J1 to H2B, whatever. So they always ask the same question. Like the first question, they will like, tell us about yourself. That's an obvious question. And then as working in the kitchen, they will like, what are the 5 mother sauces? Some people ask the basics, like, okay, so how do you make this? How do you make that? Like from the 5 mother sauces. The question that they ask, they always do all of them. How do you deal with pressure first? Like, can you work under pressure? And also, how do you deal with conflict? That's the word I was looking for.
Oh yeah, that's one of those. I think that's a big question. Yeah.
They always ask that question, like, how do you deal with conflict? Give us an example where you've been, or maybe have handled the conflict, and then what are the steps that you took, and how did it end up? You know. So those are the 3 questions that they mostly ask. So now, I think the reason why they ask about the mother sauces, they're just checking if can you actually cook, or maybe have you been exposed to the industry enough. So they don't want to hire somebody that they're gonna teach them to make, like to teach them from scratch. You know. So sometimes there's a system that they use on a few of the places that I've worked in. When they hire somebody, they'll be like, hey, they green. So being green means they know nothing. So I need to tell them everything in detail, steps by steps. Yeah. So there are terms that they use, and so you need to be able to like figure out what they mean.
So me being green in the cooking industry, I'm green. So you talk about mother sauces. What is that a kitchen tongue where people say mother sauces? What's the meaning of mother sauces?
Mother sauces basically means like all of the sauces. The mother, the mother is person that, So I would say
your basic sauces like your marinara, is that what it means?
Falls under one category. It
Category.
falls under tomato sauce. Tomato sauce.
But would that be considered as a mother sauce? No.
No.
Okay.
So tomato sauce or tomato will be considered as a mother sauce, and then it has all good categories. I mean, there's like, to mention a few, there's Espanol, there's Hollandaise, and there's so those are the basic, but so those are the sauces that you can make a base of them, and then make something else from the base.
Okay.
You understand? So for example, from the Hollandaise, you can use Hollandaise as a base for your poached eggs. I mean, the Benedicts. And you can also take the same Hollandaise, just put some tarragon, vinegar, and now it becomes a different sauce. So, you need to know the sauces, and then you need to be able to know or maybe understand on how to make them. Because sometimes they'll ask, okay, how to make this, or how to make a velouté, or what are the main ingredients for a velouté. So if you don't know if it's flour, butter, and whatever, chicken or white stock, chicken stock, fish stock, then they'll be like, nah, maybe not.
So those chef knives, I've seen a couple of those things. How many cuts or what type of skill do you need to use for a chef knife? Those things are sharp, eh?
They're very dangerous, which is the reason why there are a few steps that you need to follow. Like, you cannot walk around with a knife holding like this. You cannot, like, being in the kitchen, it's not always about cooking. It's also about the discipline and how you, like the manners, like how you handle yourself.
Carry yourself in the kitchen. You need to be focused. you're running a production, so everything needs to be planned basically. So
Yeah. And also, like I said, like with the attitude you need, because also the chef, if you don't have like a good attitude, they don't pay no minds to you.
yeah,
So you can brag about 15 years of experience working in the same place, but if you can go and work in a different place, you'll find yourself that no, actually I don't know anything.
yeah,
Because everywhere you work, things are different. And I also said, talked about flexibility. So everywhere you work, they do things differently. So we might have a chicken farm where I work right now, and then I resign or maybe change jobs, and then where I go, there's also chicken farm, and then I'll come with the mentality that, oh no, I know how to make it, and I do it, and not to find out it's wrong. It's not their standard, because every
Yeah.
place have their standards of
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
things or
yeah,
making
exactly.
things. Yeah, so you have to be like flexible, and then be able to know that, okay, be a sponge. Learn as much as you can. You need to be a sponge where you welcome new information. Don't break it and say, no, I know how to do this, I know how to make that. Because the more you say you can make it, and then you happen to not do it their standard,
yeah,
the less attention they're gonna give you, and then the less work they're gonna give, and then that's the less you work, that's the less you learn. So you need to be able to, wanna learn.
So you said you came on a J1.
Yeah.
You are now on a H2B.
H2B,
So
yes.
how did you what made the transition, or what happened in that process? So
It's very simple. So I was a J1 in Michigan, and it was, unfortunately, it was only the place that I was working for. It was only a seasonal place. They closed during summer. During winter. They only open for summer, which is from April to October, in the middle of, in the beginning of November. So the executive chef that was working there was we were getting along so well, to a point where he wanted me to stay, but I couldn't because they closed. So he was like, is there any other way that I can make you come back? I was like, I don't know, I need to do some research about it. And so lucky enough, there was somebody who was passing by, and then they called me on the side. They were like, hey, have you ever heard of an H2B? I was like, no. Like, okay, you need to go home, find out about H2B. I started Googling it, what's the H2B? So made some friends. So I went to Idaho, made some friends who were on H2B. They told me, no, just go home and then start applying. There are a lot of agencies, and then they gave me like few names, and I started Googling. Spoke to my executive chef from Michigan, and then he was like, okay, so what do I do? Like, speak to your attorney, and then your attorney is gonna like take the matter. And then took me a few interviews, and then only to find out, only to realize that I need to go for interview with the embassy. When I got there, I already had the information, because you need to know your employer. You need to first get a job, your employer, your rate, how many hours you're gonna work, because those are the kind of questions that they ask you when you're at the interviews. Embassy. So you need to know your employer, your hours, how much you're making, and how much you pay for rent. Those are the simple things.
okay,
You might think, no, they don't matter, but they do matter at the embassy. So I got my first H2B in 2019.
2019.
2019, yeah. So I've been an H2B. And then also with an H2B, you shouldn't do your full 3 years, because if you do your full 3 years, when you go home, you have to stay 1 full year. So if you do less than 3 years, let's say 2.5, you get to stay home for like 6 months. When they call you, because when they actually call you and say, hey, you got the job, so these are the steps to get your visas, you need to make sure that you always have an airtime, or maybe always have like a data, because they send you emails each and every day. Hey, we need this, we need a copy of a passport, we need like a picture taken for a visa, we need this. And then those people, they don't give you a list, like this is what we're gonna need, and leave you. They want this today, 2 days later they want something different, 2 days later. So you need to be active, you need to be like fully focused on it, because if you miss one thing, you might miss everything. So it's important to like keep on checking your emails. What do they need? Until they say, okay, now we're good. Just wait for a flight ticket. So.
Got it.
Yeah.
So besides work, now we were talking about work and work and work. Places that you've gone to vacation wise, have you taken vacation time? Did you go anywhere to New York? Vegas?
I've done one vacation that was in New York.
Uh-huh.
I've always seen this on TV, and it's been my dream to actually go to Times Square.
Times Square?
Times Square was like a dream come true. Like, you know, when you go somewhere or maybe you try something new and then you don't realize yourself at the time. You only realize on the following day, you're like, did I really do that? Like, I felt like a kid. You know, when I see my videos, people took videos of me. Like, the excitement was written in the face.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, I didn't know that I was behaving like a kid or maybe, but it was just an excitement. And when I saw that, was like, but no, it was worth
Times
it.
Square is amazing. The people, the culture, everybody's just moving really fast. Everybody's on their own buzz. They're just doing their thing, which is, it's nice to see.
It's nice to see.
The subways.
It reminds me of Johannesburg.
I haven't been though to Johannesburg.
You know,
which is
you should go, man. But be sure you have a security with you. Because the life, that's like the New York life, it's exactly like Johannesburg's life. Everything is fast paced. Everything is just, you might miss something and then not realizing.
So we're probably gonna finish up here. I don't think we should make it too long. So what is Mandla's future goals? What are your, is this a way for you to make money and travel a bit, or are you going to do some? Are you trying to save that money to take it back home to start something or buy property? What is the future What is the future goals for Mandla?
That's a big question. It's a big question. But one thing that I've always wanted to do, and I've started it. I started 3 years ago. I want to have like an open up. Is that the right word to use? Like a pop-up restaurant and like a pop-up dinner.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So something like, let's say maybe I come here and then I just rent your place. The main goal, or maybe like the main dream, is to hire like galleries. You know, where they say, okay, it's a gallery to show pictures and then like drawings. Yeah, so the art galleries. I want to hire one of those things. When there's one big event of a showcase of the people's paintings, I want to do a dinner after that. You know how beautiful the galleries are. I mean, it's dark, it's dim. People take their time to like look at the picture, and you know, sometimes you don't understand the value of the picture until they tell the artist tells you, okay, this is what was on my mind when I was doing it. So I want to hire like something like that, but I want to make it like a dinner where after the main event, everybody goes and sit.
Good.
And then I've got few course menus. But with those course menus, I want to try something. Like I'm working on trying out new dishes, like very into detail, you know.
Got it.
So I want to like still do that, and then at the same time, I want to be an executive chef somewhere. Not necessarily a full time, but you know, when a restaurant suffers, maybe they're about to shut down because it doesn't sell so much. Like if you watch not Hell's Kitchen, one of Gordon Ramsay's shows. The Kitchen Nightmares.
Yes.
He goes and assists the restaurant that's about to close down.
Yes.
I want to be that guy. You know, I want to be called and be like, hey, we are about to open, but we're not sure about our menu. Yeah. So I want to do like that kind of a job.
Got it.
At the same time, having my dinners happening maybe once or twice a month, somewhere, you know.
So, is this something that you want to do in South Africa, or is it something, or would you like to stay in America or move somewhere else? There's a reason why I'm asking this question, because I think it's us as South Africans or anybody from the country. I don't think it's, yes, we're running from the negativity from our country, but in the same thing, I think it's in order for us, our country to be successful, to grow, we as mentors, that's what we are. We've been out the country, we're exposed to a lot of things. I think we should give back a little. And this is mainly why I'm doing these type of videos, is to show people out there, you know what I mean? Our country, South Africa, is amazing. It's we as people in general, you know what I mean? Yes. It's what we give back, what we selfish as people, I think, in general, you know what I mean? I think we need to open up a bit, you know, to give back, especially to our youth. Our youth is so they're exposed to a lot of things these days, and I think we as people in general, we need to be able to be that role model. So when children look up, they look up to people like you know what I mean, someone that's has a passion for chefing, for cooking, but they don't have that direction, you know what I mean. So I think we should give back, you know what I mean, to our country than running away.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
yes, I'm living in America. It's easy for me to say, you know what I mean. I've been here over 10 years, living here permanently, and I think it's time for me to basically say, what can I do to give back a little, to go back and inspire people?
Yeah.
And I think it's important.
It is important. It is very much important. As a matter of fact, to answer your question, no, I don't want to be based either way. Like, I want to be like international.
International, got it.
But yeah, international. I want to do it here in America if I have a chance. I want to do, because I don't only want to like inspire people from here. I've shared so much with people from here, and then I've also gained a lot of experience from them. But I still want to take it back home. Like when I go home, people will still ask me, how do you do it? Sometimes like on Sundays, they'll like chill. I'm like, yeah, this guy's been in the States. How do you do it?
Yes, exactly.
And so now there's more people, even though it's one person who asks, but a lot now just stand and listen, you know. There's a whole lot that I've gave them the information, and some of them are here, and then they still say, hey, thank you for the information, you know. It's that's part of giving back.
Exactly.
That's part of
and I think in order to grow, you have to be able to give back a little, you know. I mean, some people are selfish, they're close-minded, but I realized one thing: to become more successful in life, you gotta give back a little, and there's ways and means. Like I said, there's ways and means to do it. It's that you don't have to financially pay something, because I've gotten calls where people would ask me for $500, $1,000.
That's the worst. And that's one thing also we need to mention. We need to mention that just because we work abroad doesn't mean we have money.
Exactly, you know what I mean.
Because people now know he works abroad, so everybody, you know, all of a sudden know he has the money. So we ask him for anything. So it's not like that.
But Mandla, thank you for your time. I think we probably inspired a lot of people that would like to come to America, or even in the chefing industry. Thank you for your time.
I'm honored. Thank you for inviting me.
No problem.
Thank you so much.